Welcome to Cord Cutting Today, where I break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting and give you my opinion on them. Stories like Amazon's new home internet service is ready to be tested. They got 2 satellites in space working, and they're going to start testing out internet from space. Very soon, this is going to be started going into mass production. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more here in a minute. 32% of cable TV's bills are just for locals and RSNs, according to the second largest broadcaster out there. And now they want even more money from cable TV. And Netflix will start streaming live sporting events in November. Something, first event that should turn into many more to come. We'll talk about this and a whole lot more here in a quick minute. First though, if you're new here, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. By hitting subscribe, by hitting that thumbs up, you let YouTube know you enjoy what we do and they recommend our videos to more people. Also, if you want to learn more about what we talk about here, I'll put a link to each story down below so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'll love to hear from you. All right, let's dive into it, starting off with Amazon's new home internet. A couple weeks ago, Amazon launched 2 prototype satellites into space to test out the service. Yesterday, Amazon announced that everything is going well. Those 2 satellites are operating as expected. They're drawing power from their solar panels. They're broadcasting, connecting to ground stations. It's all working as expected. Now Amazon says that they're going to start a month-long testing process. If this goes well, and really I don't see any reason why it shouldn't, Amazon will start mass producing these satellites for launches next year. Amazon hopes to put thousands of these satellites into space to offer high-speed internet at what they call a very affordable price, mostly targeting underserved areas, rural Americans, and more. They'll also have a portable version of this that you could take with you on the go. So if you're a camper, hiker, boondocker, you could take internet with you no matter where you are. As long as you have a clear line of sight to the sky, you should be able to get internet. Pretty cool feature, but I think this is great news because right now SpaceX is kind of cornering this market. Bringing in Amazon is great competition for rural Americans. I know a lot of people are like, well, I got fiber in my house, I'll have cable. That's great, but there's millions of people in the United States who don't, and this could bring up options there. Plus, I kind of am excited about the application of the idea you buy this, and no matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to connect to internet. That's pretty cool once that becomes a reality. All right, now we've heard for a long time that locals and RSNs are some of the most expensive content on your bill. Well, now, thanks to Gray Television, I don't know why I said Gary. Gray Television, the second largest owner of ABC, NBC, Foxes, and more, they say 32% of cable TV bills currently are locals and RSNs. 22% of them are cable TV bills are locals, ABC, NBC, Fox, etc. And 10% is RSNs. Seeing 10% of your bill going to RSNs may be why you see a lot of people, they're dropping them. When Dish dropped RSNs, they said, hey, it's one of the most expensive channels and one of the least watched channels in our package. Why are we forcing a ton of people to pay for these that don't want them? And you saw similar arguments from streaming services when they drop them out there. So you can kind of understand it. But Gray Television says, hey, as more sports teams leave RSNs and go to broadcast television, we believe we will be able to charge even more to cable companies for locals, driving our profits up. Now, as you would expect, this drove their stock price up. A lot of people invested in broadcasters upon this, and they're probably not wrong to an extent. Increasingly, pro sports are moving away from RSNs, and some of them are moving to broadcast television, free over the air with an antenna. The downside to that is they think that they're going to be able to keep driving up the crosshair or the price of their service. I think at some point there's going to be a breaking point. When that is, we'll have to wait and see. But if you ever wonder why cable TV is so expensive, remember, something that's 100% free over there, local television, makes up 22% of your cable TV bill. So when you push for more and more channels, just remember, it's more and more expense. All right, next story up. Netflix will launch their first live sporting event on November 14th. Netflix is going to have something called the Netflix Cup. This is going to be a golfing game from a bunch of golfers that appeared in their Netflix The Full Swing series, which followed PGA golfers, along with their Formula One series, which followed race drivers. So you're going to see a bunch of Formula One, I should say, drivers and PGA pros competing in a golf event on Netflix. Now, it's been reported that this is the first live sporting event, but it's probably not going to be the last. Netflix is looking at this as a test, and they hope it goes well, and they'll be able to offer a whole lot more live events going forward in the future. We'll see how that all plays out. But Live sports is one of the few things that people watch live, which means they watch commercials on it. Look for that to become more and more common on more services. All right, Amazon, next story up, is looking to crack down on fake reviews. Fake reviews are becoming a big problem, not just positive ones that try to talk up a service so you buy it, or a product, or a streaming service, but also negative ones that falsely come in and negatively rate popular products to try to drive down the ratings on Amazon and affect it. But it's not exclusive to Amazon. It's a big issue in travel. So Amazon has teamed up with TripAdvisor, Expedia, Booking.com, Glassdoor, which is a website for companies out there, Trustpilot, and more, to go out there and create a way to share information about fake reviewers and ways to develop technologies to stop fake reviews, both positive and negative. This is becoming a bigger and bigger problem. It's great to see companies go out there. You know, if you're reviewing or looking for reviews on a Wi-Fi system, streaming player, more, you want to know that those are reliable, real reviews. And that's what Amazon's going to try to do and crack down on it. We'll see how that all plays out, but they're making a big effort to stop fake reviews. All right, next up, YouTube yesterday announced a new update to their apps, which will allow a better video control, smarter audio, and easier way to find content. Pretty massive rollout of new features here. And once your app updates, if I say things like please subscribe, it's also going to highlight the subscribe button and suggest you hit that subscribe. So please subscribe. But they're also doing things like if you tap on a screen twice and hold it, it will fast forward your video at double speed to help you get through a video quicker. You'll be able to have stable volume, which will reduce the highs and lows in volume of video. If I suddenly talk all quiet and I scream and yell, we'll try to level out the volume on that. And a whole bunch of new discovery content, trying to make it easier for you to find content you want. Look for this to roll out to your devices starting now. If you want full details on the new YouTube app on your Android and iOS and more, check it out. Link in the show notes down below for some videos that explain everything with that. All right, according to Nielsen, they released their state of streaming and TV yesterday. And according to Nielsen, 3 streaming services saw growth in 2023. Tubi and the Roku channel were 2 of them, and the third was Amazon. Now, they say Amazon grew mostly based on the drive for NFL's Thursday Night Football, which Amazon has the exclusive rights to. Tubi and the Roku channel saw growth based on their growing catalog of free supported content. I've said this for a while. The fastest growing area in cord cutting right now is free ad-supported content. And we're seeing that once again, according to Nielsen, as Tubi and the Roku channel were 2 of the only 3 services, and the other one was driven higher based on NFL content, which is very seasonal. We'll see how it all plays out. And lastly, before we get into the Q&A, please shut down another massive service, Ace, which is a conglomerate of companies like Disney and Roku and more, all come together to fight piracy, has congratulated Taiwan police in shutting down a massive IPTV service that sold boxes preloaded with piracy streaming services, and now they've come out and said they've stopped it. Hundreds of thousands of devices here, thousands of users, and they say they've shut it down. Again, look for this to become more and more common. As piracy grows, as companies out there struggle to become profitable, they're targeting piracy and to shut it down. Look for this to become a bigger thing in the future. You're probably going to start hearing regular complaints about this, or regular reports of piracy services shutting down. So be careful. If you're buying a piracy service, you're paying a year in advance or whatever, don't be surprised if midway through it stops working. All right, let's get into the Q&A. Now, every day at the end of our videos, I do a Q&A here answering your questions. If you have a question, leave me a comment on this video and start with question for Luke, so I know it's meant for me to answer here. And then put your question. I'll pick 1 or 2 depending on how much time I have to answer in each video. Now, Charles Woods asked, question for Luke, where do you see the price of streaming services like Max, Disney Plus, and Netflix in regards to maybe having better content? And prices going up. Now, a few things here. I do think that prices are going to continue to go up. A lot of streaming services listed their prices low at the beginning here to attract subscribers. And now I think that was a mistake. They artificially lowered the value of this content to get people, and then they had to raise it. Now, increasingly we're seeing services become profitable. Max just became profitable. Disney Plus is expected to be profitable late next year and more. So I don't exactly see prices coming down. What I do see, though, is bundles becoming more common. We're seeing that recently. Netflix has started doing some bundles with Verizon, where if you subscribe to 2 or more services, you get a discount versus getting one alone. We saw Max bundle in Discovery Plus, or HBO Max and Discovery Plus merged into Max. I think that's going to become more and more common. Paramount has quite a few smaller streaming services. How long do they push most of those into Paramount Plus to attract the subscribers from there into Paramount Plus? I think we're going to see a consolidation of content. I think there's a lot of streaming services out there that aren't needed. AMC has multiple. They have Shudder, it's a horror service, and AMC, and this and that. How long do they combine those into one streaming service, saying, hey, yeah, we have a section inside AMC Plus that has all the Shudder content, but it's all bundled into AMC Plus? I think that's the reality. We're going to see more bundling coming up. This idea of niche services that are paid are going to struggle. Now, some of them could survive. There are a few that are very profitable the way they are, but most of them, I think, need to be bundled together into larger ones, a la Max having different sections for like HDTV and HBO and more all inside the app. I think that's the future. I think that's what we're going to see going forward. Bundling in does mean more good content in one app without needing to pay a ton of additional content. We'll see how this all plays out. I still think we're years away for the great rebundle. And I think the rebundle is not going to go back to cable. I think you're just going to see more things like what we saw with Max, where Warner Bros. Discovery says, hey, we have Discovery Plus and HBO Max. Separate, they're struggling. Together, we have something pretty cool. So we charge $1 or $2 more. We merge it all together into one app. You get significantly more content, all from one place, at a cheaper price than paying for the two of them separately. And that's what I think we're going to start seeing going forward. We'll see how it all plays out, but that's my prediction. If you have a question, leave me a comment. I want to hear from you, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Until then, take care, be safe, have a fantastic day, everybody.